There is no way this just happened. The Florida Panthers catch the New York Rangers by surprise with a 3-0 win in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. Will there be major changes coming to the New York Rangers lineup next game? It's possible, and if you're a Rangers fan, I believe you're looking for it and you're hoping for it. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. My name is Darius Domingues, and guys, we have no subscribers yet. We're just kicking off the channel here, so please hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Rangers, all Rangers news, New York Rangers trades. Right now, it is the playoffs. It's the third round. It's the Eastern Conference Final, so stay tuned for all of that and more. It's going to be really exciting, and let's jump right into it. All right, this game didn't go that great for the Rangers at all. Not even a goal scored, but there were some positives to look at, and there will be some lineup changes. You would hope so, that there's going to be some lineup changes. But to start, it honestly felt like MSG was shaking as the Rangers hit the ice earlier, and if you were watching on the broadcast, it looked like MSG was shaking, and obviously some of the cameras are on the rink boards and you're going to get that effect, but it was loud. The crowd was ready to go, so good on them. And it was super exciting, but obviously the game didn't go that way. And if we're going to look at some stats here, honestly, Shesterkin probably should have had that first goal. You could hang the first Kachuk goal on him, but everything after that, I thought he played pretty well. He was playing a little shaky towards the end, I thought, but all in all, I thought he played a pretty decent game, and only one of the goals was his fault. Obviously, the second goal, can't really blame him for that. We'll get to that in a second. But, yeah, you can't really blame him for that. The third goal, obviously, an empty netter. Not much to like statistically for the New York Rangers tonight. Although there are, the top guys are playing big minutes, again, upwards of 24 minutes for Panarin tonight, who I thought looked pretty dangerous off the rush at times. Same with Zibanejad. And listen, the Rangers got their opportunities tonight. They could have scored. Bobrovsky played very well, and they didn't capitalize on some of their opportunities. Again, the power play, which has been deadly. I've never heard a crowd celebrate for a power play, to get a power play that loudly before, because they just know that the Rangers power play at 31% coming into this game was automatic. And honestly, they had some great chances. I think on the last power play that they had of the game, they had about 4 or 5 shots on goal. They had their opportunities. They couldn't solve Bobrovsky. And when this game was a lot tighter. It could have been a 1-0 game. It was a lot tighter than it led on with the final score 3-0. So lots to like from the Rangers' offensive game, besides the fact that they didn't score, of course. But I don't think the Rangers are necessarily in trouble. I think they do have to implement one thing into their lineup next game, and that is what Mark Messier says here. Maybe they should think about putting Matt Rempe in the lineup for Game 2, and that was Mark Messier on ESPN just now in the second intermission about their first 2 periods. And it's true. Watching the first 2 periods was very frustrating if you're a Rangers fan. I mean, the Panthers have a very simple and down to a scientific method game plan, where they dump it behind you and they go forecheck. They're hitting you. They're hitting you. They're hitting you. Kevin Bieksa said on the Canadian broadcast that, it's tiring to play like that. Bodies are always coming in to smash you, and it's really tiring. The Rangers played a really tiring first period. They were sort of getting the hang of it as the game went on, and obviously pushed back big time in the third period. But after the first 2 periods, you get the sense that you need somebody like Matt Rempe to be inserted back into the lineup in Game 2. It's almost a necessity at this point if you're going to compete with the way that the Florida Panthers play. Obviously, I'm not too worried about the Rangers' offensive game. I think it's going to come based on how they were playing tonight. Obviously, couldn't convert, but I'm assuming it's going to come. But you're going to need some of that physicality as well. So I think inserting Rempe is a necessity at this point in Game 2, and look for them to do it. I think Peter Laviolette is going to have to make that change in short order, or else you'll get some of the same of what you saw tonight in the first 2 periods. And that's just not a formula for Rangers' success in this series. The Florida Panthers are the real deal. They have a great game plan. And like I said, their forecheck is actually unbelievable. They create opportunities for themselves like nothing. It's actually really fun to watch in a way. But anyway, Matt Rempe should be inserted because he's going to give you a little bit more of that jam that you need to compete with the Florida Panthers. So look for him to be inserted into the Game 2 lineup. Now, like I was saying, after 2 periods of play, the Rangers just have 10 shots on goal. or they did at that point through the first two periods. Now, the Florida Panthers only had 18 shots, which is much better, but they only had one shot on goal in the last 16 minutes to that point. Not a recipe for success. And yes, they poured it on in the third period, but at the end of the day, they did not score a single goal in this game. You have to get the puck behind the Florida Panthers defense, which I thought they were doing pretty well to a degree. I thought the cycle game was all right, but again, you don't score the power play. You got to convert on the power play because it's been clicking at such a high percentage heading into this game. You just have to. Now, to get into what really turned the game, because it did feel like the Rangers were going to tie the game there for a bit. They had a lot of time left on the clock. I say a lot of time, but there's like 3 or 4 minutes left. But anyway, then this play happens, and we will get into it now. It's kind of a weird play on the back check. Really a nothing play where I thought Shesterkin, and we'll get into it in a minute, shouldn't have played this puck. I don't know if there was really a reason for him to come play this puck, but nonetheless, you have kind of a breakdown where there's 3 Rangers back and 2 Panthers coming in on the forecheck, and somehow the Panthers player is still able to get it across, or try to get it across. Lafrenière goes to bat it out of the air, and of course, it goes right in between the legs of Igor Shesterkin and into the net. And honestly, it was a pretty decent play here by Lafrenière. I mean, to get a piece of it and to break up that pass that was going across, because if you get that one-timer, I mean, it might go in anyway. Verhaeghe's trying to get it across there. That was the game plan. But then, when you look at this breakdown, like I said, 3 Rangers coming back. Verhaeghe has the open look to send it across, or he could have shot, even though Shesterkin is out of the net. Like I said, probably shouldn't have played it. And then it is knocked out of the air, of course, and into the net. Certainly not ideal for the New York Rangers there, and Lafrenière. Not what you want to see. And from Greg Wyshynski as well. Lafrenière tips the puck past Shesterkin. Verhaeghe will get the goal. Terrible play by Shesterkin before that, as he tried to clear the puck and basically just bounce it off the sideboards to Verhaeghe. That's something I didn't actually mention, and a great point. Not only did he come out to play the puck where he probably didn't have to, because if you see the formation coming back, I mean, you could have had somebody here grab the puck. But again, split-second plays, it's a fast game. Nitpicking at this point. I understand that. But he basically slammed it off the boards right to Verhaeghe, who then can make this play. And again, a lucky play, but I just feel like it could have been avoided. And from Martin Briand, who is a former NHL goaltender as well. Unlucky, yes, but Shesterkin doesn't have to play the puck there. And on top of it, he lost his net on the way back, or returning to the crease. Right foot, a good 2 feet outside the post. Bad luck maybe, but a bad decision brought the bad luck in. And I think that's exactly where I stand with this, and what Greg says as well. Shesterkin, it's a split-second play. It's a fast game, but these plays end up costing you in the end. And these moments are things you have to tidy up, and I think the Rangers are going to. Like I said, lots to like about the way they battled back and tried to get back into the game, and it did feel like they were going to tie it, but unfortunately did not. And they have to work on, obviously, scoring and cleaning up the mistakes. The Florida Panthers forecheck was costing, really cost the Rangers the game. It was the forecheck. They have to figure that out, because they were making a lot of turnovers and making a lot of mistakes. So they're going to have to figure that out. Those split-second decisions, yes, it's a fast game, but you have to make the right decisions. You have to be poised in those decisions, and they were not tonight. The Rangers have to work on that heading into the next game, and we will keep you updated on any lineup changes that happen and the next game when we see you in the next video.